They told you it was just another coin. They told you it was overhyped, overregulated, and underperforming. But what if the real reason they kept telling you that was because they were buying it behind your back? Right now, while the world is fixated on headlines, a quiet revolution is unfolding beneath the charts. Not in loud announcements, not in viral tweets, but in signed contracts, silent transfers, and sealed corridors between nations. This isn't a hype cycle. This is the construction of a new financial backbone. And XRP is not an option in it. It's a requirement. You see, most people won't recognize the turning point until it's already history. But for those watching closely, the ones who ask harder questions, there's a signal cutting through the noise. And if you're holding XRP right now, you're not chasing the trend. You're positioned before it starts. This isn't a prediction video. It's not investment advice. It's a mirror, and what you see in it could change how you view everything. The question is, will you understand before it's obvious, or will you realize when it's too late? Because once the system finishes shifting, those who were early won't just be right, they'll be first. Welcome to XRP Today USA, where we don't chase the spotlight. We watch who's building it and why. Part 1. Bitcoin's countdown isn't a prediction, it's a setup. They call it a forecast, but ARK Invest doesn't forecast, it reveals. And what they've just revealed is something few are ready for. Bitcoin at $1.5 million by 2030. Not hype, not theory, a pattern, a mathematical inevitability wrapped in institutional silence. Right now, over 93% of all Bitcoin has already been mined. That's not a projection. That's history, on-chain, immutable, final. Which means there are fewer than 1.5 million coins left, forever. But here's the part no one's talking about. The real money hasn't arrived yet. Trillions of dollars sitting in pension funds, sovereign wealth, global retirement portfolios, untouched. Not because they don't believe, but because they were waiting. Waiting for regulation. Waiting for structure. Now, they're done waiting. This isn't Bitcoin's final run. It's the setup before the real game begins. Because when that capital moves, it won't trickle, it will flood. And in a market with no room left to create more coins, every new buyer must outbid the last. That's not growth, that's a supply shock. So if you think you're late to Bitcoin, you might actually be standing at the starting line of its final sprint. And when it takes off, it won't look back. The question is, are you already in position or still waiting for permission? Part 2. XRP is no longer a maybe. It's a mechanism. It only took one sentence. July 2023, a US federal court said it, clearly, undeniably. XRP is not a security. That wasn't just legal clarification, that was the unlocking of an entire system. Overnight, XRP was no longer a regulatory risk. It became institution-ready. The same institutions that once labeled it too risky are now building on it. Not because of hype, not because it's trending, but because XRP works, quietly, consistently, and on a scale nothing else can match. You won't see this on TV, but behind closed boardroom doors, behind private pilot programs, something massive is happening. Visa, BNY Mellon, Santander. They're not testing theories, they're executing real transfers, cross-border, in seconds, at a cost so low it breaks every existing model. This isn't crypto speculation, this is infrastructure adoption. And RippleNet is not a concept. It's a functional network already connecting over 70 countries. XRP was never meant to be loud. It was designed to be efficient, invisible, unstoppable. And now that the green light has flashed, the smartest money isn't hesitating. It's integrating. If you're still thinking of XRP as a bet, you're not seeing it clearly. This isn't a maybe anymore. It's a mechanism, built, tested, activated. And the system it's replacing, it's already watching and catching up. Part 3. The XRP ETF. Silent, strategic, inevitable. Wall Street doesn't follow tech. It follows paperwork. It doesn't move when retail gets excited. It moves when legal structure says go. And in Wall Street's language, nothing signals readiness more clearly than 3 letters: ETF. They trust what they can wrap, regulate, and report. And now, quietly, beneath the noise, XRP is checking every single box. Custody? Secured. Liquidity? Climbing. Legal clarity? Done. You've seen this play before. Bitcoin got its ETF after regulatory friction. Ethereum followed with the same rhythm. Now, that rhythm is pulsing behind XRP. Only this time, it's faster, more prepared, more targeted. Because XRP isn't just an investment, it's a solution, a payment rail. And Wall Street isn't looking for hype anymore. It's looking for function. Here's the part most won't see coming. If even 1% of global institutional capital pivots to XRP, not as speculation, but as infrastructure, we're not talking about growth. We're talking about detonation. Trillions in capital don't enter gently, they flood. And with XRP's fixed supply, the effect wouldn't be a rally. It would be a repricing of the asset class itself. No tweets, no explosions, no headlines, just capital, executing quietly. Because when Wall Street moves, it doesn't announce it. It positions early. And by the time the crowd catches on, the door is already closing. Part 4. Whale Warfare. The strategy you were never taught. Market crashes don't just happen. They're orchestrated. They're built in silence, engineered by giants. And they begin long before you see the first red candle. A pause in withdrawals, a rumor about regulation, a DeFi exploit nobody expected. Suddenly, headlines flash, bots activate, massive sell orders hit the order book, just under key psychological levels, 70,000, 65,000, 60,000. Each drop is not chaos, it's calculation. Whales aren't panicking, they're planning. They understand one truth: panic is a tool, and fear is a weapon, only effective against those who don't know the game. You see the price fall, you feel the dread, and without thinking, you react. You sell, you exit, you lose. But what really happened? Behind the scenes, the same entities who seeded that panic are now buying what you just gave away, at a discount, at scale, on repeat. This isn't emotional, this is a business model. And here's the truth: if you're still reacting to the market, you're already part of someone else's strategy. Whale warfare isn't about manipulation, it's about understanding what the crowd will do, and getting there first. So the next time the fear kicks in, ask yourself, are you thinking or are you being used? Because in this market, emotion is currency, and someone's always cashing in. Hello, Kane, Part 5. Calm is the new alpha. In crypto, chaos is constant, but alpha belongs to the calm. Real wealth doesn't chase, it positions, not loudly, not emotionally, quietly, methodically. The market rewards discipline, not drama. You've seen it before. The news flashes red, prices dip, Twitter melts down, and retail, they react. Fast, fearful, blind. But those with a map, they don't check charts and panic. They've already set limit orders at the levels that others fear. 80 cows, 70 cows, even 60 cows. Not as guesses, as positions, as traps for opportunity. Because volatility isn't danger to them. It's fuel, it's movement, it's access. And while the noise rises, the cold hands are buying. You see, the crowd runs from the drop, but the prepared, they wait for it, because they understand something most never learn. The most explosive growth comes after the most violent corrections. This isn't luck, this is design. This is how portfolios go from thousands to millions. Calm is not passive, it's surgical. It's confidence built on clarity, not reacting, but knowing what to do before the panic begins. So if you're still riding the emotional roller coaster, ask yourself, are you trading the chart or are you building your future? Because in this market, the loud don't win, the prepared do. Part 6. XRP doesn't follow the market. It triggers it. Every cycle has its rhythm. Bitcoin lights the fuse, but it's XRP that ignites the explosion. Go back to 2017. While the world watched Bitcoin double, triple, surge, XRP outperformed it 25-1. That wasn't a fluke. That was timing, utility, demand, precision. While Bitcoin soaked up the headlines, XRP moved in silence and then took center stage. Here's what most investors still don't get. XRP doesn't follow altcoins. It starts the wave. Once Bitcoin exhales, when momentum slows and the media turns its attention, capital rotates. First into large caps, then into momentum plays. And then it happens. XRP breathes fire. Because XRP isn't just a coin, it's a corridor, a bridge, a trigger mechanism for value transfer across chains, across borders, across systems. It's plugged into a narrative the market hasn't priced in yet: utility at scale, adoption in silence, movement without hype. When Bitcoin leads, the world follows. But when XRP ignites, the market transforms. So if you're still watching for altcoin season, you're already behind. Because when XRP moves, it doesn't ask permission, it sets the tone. This isn't just history, it's a pattern, a warning. And if you're holding XRP right now, you may be holding the matchstick the market forgot to respect. Part 7. Final shift. Are you early or just watching? If you're holding XRP, you're not late. You're not guessing. You're already inside the perimeter. And if you're still on the fence, still waiting for confirmation from a headline or a green candle to tell you it's safe, ask yourself one thing. Are you investing or just reacting? Because XRP is no longer theory. It's not a story for later. It's not a trend waiting to happen. It's already here. Infrastructure, adoption, momentum, quiet, unstoppable, on schedule. You don't build a financial revolution with fireworks. You build it with protocol, with corridors, with clarity. And that's what XRP has quietly become. The next wealth shift won't come with applause. There will be no breaking news, no last call announcement. It will happen in silence. Then suddenly, all at once. And when the dust settles, only those who moved before the noise will remain standing. Because by the time the world realizes what XRP truly is, the seats will already be taken. The ladder will already be climbed. So ask yourself this, honestly. Are you already positioned, or are you still just watching? Because history doesn't wait, and neither will this moment. You've just seen what most never will. Not a price chart, not a hype train, but the quiet blueprint of a system being rebuilt from the inside out. Bitcoin was the spark. XRP is the structure. While the headlines distract, the infrastructure is forming. While the crowd argues, the capital is positioning. And while most keep watching, a few are already inside the next chapter. This isn't about FOMO. This is about awareness. And the moment you gain it, you can't go back to sleep. So now the question isn't what XRP might become, it's whether you'll still be watching or finally ready to move. Here at XRP Today USA, we don't chase news. We trace the patterns behind it. We don't scream predictions. We study signals before the world notices. If you've made it this far, you're not average. You're not late. You're exactly who this message was meant for. Subscribe, share, comment below. Let us know where you stand and where you're headed. Because this isn't the end of the story. It's just where the silence gets louder.